Hey guys, so I wanted to address this. I saw it on a Facebook post. I think it was yesterday or the day before, and it really bothered me. And the post was actually created by a nurse, um, but it's in regards to CNAs sitting at the nurse's station, and she was talking about like CNAs don't need to know the information about the residents or patients that they're taking care of, and that she thinks that it's a HIPAA violation for CNAs to sit at the nurse's station. Now, I screenshotted comments, and I wanted to read some of the comments to you guys because I think it's a little bit ridiculous. Sorry, but let me know if you think I'm wrong here. Obviously, I feel like CNAs don't necessarily need to know everything about the person that they're taking care of, but considering the amount of personal care that CNAs provide to people, they definitely need to know what's going on with their resident. Like, they need to know if they have mobility issues. They need to know if they're a fall risk. They need to know if they are continent or incontinent. They need to know if they are confused. They need to know if they're combative. They need to know if they can walk by themselves. There's a lot of information that CNAs need to know. They need to know if they have a Foley. They need to know if they have an ostomy. Like, there's important information that they need to know. And I have worked with nurses before that would not let me, sit with them when they're getting report from the other nurse, or not get report from them. But then I've also worked at facilities where I have been included in report, or I would have like my own separate report from the nurse. So I definitely think that there's things that you need to know. Obviously, there's not, like, as a CNA, you don't need to know every little thing. Like, you don't need to know necessarily like the dosage of someone's medication. You don't need to know how many times they take a medication. You don't even necessarily need to know what type of medication they're on. Because as a CNA, you're not passing meds. So you don't necessarily even need to know what type of meds that someone's on, but there's a lot of information that CNAs need to know. And so I disagree that a CNA sitting at the nurse's station is a HIPAA violation. But like I said, correct me if you think that I'm wrong. So I'm going to read these screenshots that I have. So this person said that she's a med tech, and this person says this person doesn't think that CNAs should be sitting at the desk or at the nurse's station. She says, I'm a med tech. How are we supposed to talk to the doctors, therapists, make appointments? That's private information. CNAs are not allowed behind our desk. Them hearing our conversations to doctors and nurses, especially when giving report from hospitals, is a HIPAA violation. I know some will say this isn't fair, but again, it's a HIPAA thing. I disagree with that as well. Somebody else said it's not a HIPAA violation because we care for these patients. We are supposed to know these kinds of things for work. Somebody else said, I was a med tech and a CNA, not sure where you got this entitlement just because you pass meds. Somebody said, how am I supposed to know what kind of care to give to my residents if I don't know what's going on with them? Somebody else said, a HIPAA violation. You realize that CNAs have to know information about a patient in order to take care of them, right? It would be unlawful for us to take care of a patient and not know anything about them, such as their code status, if they're on oxygen, physical therapy, if they can eat by themselves. The list goes on. It's not a HIPAA violation if by the state I'm registered as a certified nursing assistant, I'm allowed to know information about my patient to my own abilities to provide the best care that I can. If anything, a med tech should know less than what a CNA should, as they only pass meds. This just seems degrading that you just said this. Someone else says, we sign papers for HIPAA just the same as you. We are also obligated by law, so it makes no sense what you're saying because we are allowed to know, just not allowed to disclose any information. So why are you freaking out? Somebody else says, nurses and CNAs share the same information. My chart literally pulls up the same thing the nurses pulls up. It has diagnoses, medications, history and demographics, face sheet. What is it that CNAs are not supposed to know? LOL. Also, we work with the same nurse practitioner and doctors that work or round in the building. Somebody else says that's absolutely not a HIPAA thing. And another person said, this comment made my skin crawl. I would hate to work with you. And I totally would too. Like, I don't understand why you wouldn't share information that is necessary to care for a resident or a patient. It's important to share information that someone needs to know in order to be able to provide the best care possible. I absolutely hated when people would not give me the information that I needed to know, because then I felt like I was going in blind and I felt like I wasn't doing everything that I could in order to, provide that highest level of care that my residents needed. Somebody else says, how does it violate HIPAA if they are involved in their direct care? Also, it is their business. Who do you think gets them up for appointments, notices the changes in the patient? Lastly, never flex on a CNA as if they are beneath you because you can pass pills. If a CNA doesn't do her work, you can't either. Someone else says, when the facility gets short and you're pulled to the floor, you're a CNA. This person says, that is bullshit. CNAs need to know what is going on with our residents or patients in order to take great care of them. It is not a HIPAA violation. When I took my clinicals, they were at the hospital and we were to go to the charts of the patients we had that day, see what was going on with them so we knew everything we needed in order to best care for them. Without that information, we cannot care for our people to the fullest. I'm not there just to roll, check, and change them. I do so much more. So with that being said, you are not a person that respects her coworkers who has a CNA behind their name. My coworkers and I treat each other as equals, and I'm glad I don't work with you. So I'm not going to read any more. There are a few more, but I think you guys got the gist of how people felt about what was said. I just don't understand why some people are like this. And I think a lot of it has to do with the power trip that people get when they get the higher certifications. Even though I do have additional training, I will never treat people that have different certifications than me as if they are beneath me. Never in my wildest dreams would I, purposely go and piss off somebody who is helping me do my work. When I was training or getting ready to go to nursing school, I had always told myself that I would never be that nurse that would act like CNAs were beneath me, or that I would never be the nurse that would walk past a room or go answer a call light and then go run to find my CNA to do something for someone when I could do it myself. And I still feel that way even though I'm not planning on becoming a nurse. I still feel that way even though I'm planning on becoming a doctor. I still feel that way. I feel like we need to stop treating each other the way that we are, and we need to focus on working together as a team. Stop acting like somebody is beneath you. Work together. It makes it so much easier when you work together. Anyways, let me know what you think about this. Would this irritate you? Do you think that CNAs should be able to sit at the nurse's station? Do you think that it's a HIPAA violation for CNAs to sit at the nurse's station? I have sat at the nurse's station at almost every facility that I've worked at. What would you do? Anyways, that's enough for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if there's anything you guys would like me to talk about in a future video, and I will talk to you guys again next time.